Hello, and welcome to Chapter 7 of How to Read and Study the Bible using the Olivetree Bible app. Excuse me. In this chapter, we'll take a brief look at the interface, the layout, and what the buttons do, just so you become familiar of where the tools are and where the options are. In the next couple of chapters, we're going to go into more detail on how to use those tools and options. Okay, let's get started. I have my Olivetree Bible app open. Happens to be open to Matthew 1:1 right now. We're going to go to the top of the interface, over to the far left, and again, I'm on an iPad, and we're going to click on what's called the Hamburger Menu icon. I guess it supposedly looks like a hamburger with two buns and a patty in the middle. We'll click on that, and the first thing we're going to see is account details. Just briefly shows us what our account details are, gives us our email address. At one point, I had two email addresses. I was using two accounts so I could see which account I was in. We can put our password in here if we haven't already logged in. I keep it logged in so I don't ever have to do that. But you can log in here if you want, or if you happen to log out, you can log back in here. There's also a good list of why you would want to create an account with Olivetree, which I strongly recommend. So that's the account details there. We're going to close that. Go back to our hamburger menu icon. And the next thing we see in our list is book ribbons. So book ribbons is where we can find our bookmarks. If we go over here to the right side of the menu, which is something we're going to go into more detail later, we can see where we can create our bookmarks in any book we're in. And here's where we find those bookmarks listed. So if I want to go back to a page that I've bookmarked, this is where I'll do it. I can scroll through here, this list here, or I can just click on book ribbons and my list here. You can see I don't have very many because I don't use it very often, but it's there for you to use if you like. That is book ribbons. The next thing we're going to look at in our list is reading history. So if I click on reading history, we will see our reading history. And this is going to show me all of everything I've gone to, every resource I've opened, Bible, book, Bible, dictionary, commentary, every passage that I've been to that I've read, it keeps track of all of it for me. So this is where your reading history is. This could be very useful if you were doing a study. Let's say a couple days ago, you were doing a study on Psalm 119, and you wanted to go back and not only look at the passages you were looking at in that chapter, because it's the longest chapter in the Bible, chapter 119 of Psalms, or also if you were looking at commentaries or dictionaries or any other related resources regarding that chapter, those would be listed in here as well. So you can see right here is a commentary. You can sort through this reading history you can group them by date, or you can group them by title. If you group them by date, and we're at the top now, the date is up here. So this is for today. This is what I've looked at today on my Bible app. And if I scroll down the list a little, let me go back. If I scroll down the list a little bit, I accidentally clicked on that first one. You can see, you can group them by date. Excuse me. Sorry, I already said that. You can group them by title. And if you group them by date, today's date is here and the time is right next to it. So that's exactly, if you were looking at a whole bunch of verses at noon on yesterday and you wanted to revisit your search to try to remember what resources you were using, that would all be recorded right here. Awesome. You can also click by title, and that's a little different here. It doesn't have the date at the top. It has the date on the next to it, but it gives you the title of the resource you were in. So this one, for example, I was in the ESV Greek English Interlinear Bible, and if you click on that, it goes right to that resource. So let's go back, and I'm going to hit the back button, and that's reading history. Notes is another really powerful feature of the Bible Olivetree Bible app that I love, and this one I actually use a lot. We're going to more detail in the subsequent chapters on how to use it. Just wanted you to know where it is. The top of it here is categories, and these are all the notes at the bottom. And again, you just click on any note, and it'll open up that note for you. And you can add tags to it if you want, but we're going to talk about the details on how to do that later. That's notes. And again, you can scroll through it to access your notes, or you can click on it. You can also sort it by date, which is by default, or title. So these are the titles of my notes. If I put titles on them, a lot of times I don't, but sometimes I do. And you can sort it by verse. So that's notes. And highlights is next. This just shows us the highlights that we've created. In Olivetree, you can create your own highlights with different colors. So these are the highlights that I've created using different colors. Some of them are highlights and some of them are underlines of different colors. In an Olivetree, you can use both at the same time if you want. So these are the different highlighters that I have created. And these down here are a list of all the actual verses or passages in books that I've highlighted. So I can go back and again, I can click on any one of these and I can go back to a passage that I've highlighted at some time in the past. So that's awesome. That's the highlighting thing. Very powerful. Love it. You could turn them all off. You could turn them all on. We'll get into more details later on how that works. Saved passages is right here. You can save a passage anytime you want, anywhere you want, and it keeps it recorded right here for you. And you can sort by date, title, and verse again. So that's where saved passages are. And tags. So this area is an area with a gray background. This area down here is an area with a white background. These are the end of the options and tools that we have in Olivetree, except for the help down here. So tags is the last one in this list, and we click on tags, and you can create tags and tag your notes so that you can sort your notes further by tags. Powerful option. You can create any kind of tag you want. You can create tags for sin, and all the Bible verses that you go through as you're studying and reading and meditating on Scripture have to do with sin that you've written notes for. You can tag those notes, and you can easily access them all. So that's tags, powerful. These are just messages from Olivetree, and if you like to get information from them, for example, in here under messages, if they have a sale, they'll let you know in here. You could turn this off if you want. I like to keep it on because I like to see what the sales are. They also give you extended previews of some books. This one here happens to be a series that I like. It's the ESV Expository Commentary Set, and they give you an extended sample of that. And it's pretty good. So that's what that is. And then here's another one from a different commentary set, which I'm not as crazy about as this one, but they're both pretty good. This one I really like, the ESV Expository Commentary. And finally on this page, I'm sorry, I missed something. You can go to the store here if you want. You click on this and go to the store and look at sales and look what's on sale under 15 this week, new releases or anything that they have listed down here. You can look at them. Again, as I mentioned in previous chapters, I do not recommend buying resources, whether it's Bibles, books, commentaries, from the Olivetree app, because you end up actually buying them from the app store. And if you buy your resources from Olivetree.com's website instead, then you will have the added benefit of them keeping track of your account, including all the resources that you've collected over the years. I really like that. That's what I would recommend. But this is the store. You can go here and you can browse and look, and if you want, you can buy. So let's go back to the Hamburger Menu icon. That's the store. And down here, the last one is Verse of the Day. You click on that. You get a verse of the day. You can have this emailed to you. You can, which I do, and I find it really handy that if I'm going through my emails and I'm getting sidetracked by a lot of work and stuff, it's nice to see a Bible verse to bring you back in your focus to what's really important, and that's God. So you can read this, you can share it, you can go to the Bible verse. So that's Bible verses. Verse of the day. And then finally is the help section. Hopefully you won't need this, but if you do, here's where you can get some help. Online help articles, and this will connect you to their website So it's going to open up Safari for me, or whatever browser you have as your default browser, and it's going to open it right up to their help page. And they have help articles based on what device you're on. Right now, I'm on an iPad. So it's an iPad and iPhone are pretty much the same. So it opened up automatically to the page where I would find the most help. So there's articles and videos here. If I want to just go back using this menu here, you can see all of the different articles. Android, so if you're on an Android, it would open up to this set of articles here. On this page, this is the device help page. You have your choice of your different devices, And if you go back to this help page, which is the root help page, you have even more helps. And there's additional resources on this page that you might find very interesting. Like, let's see, there was one here, morphological research, morphological search options, advanced search syntaxes, which is really helpful if you want to do Boolean searches, which, like, if you want to search for something and something else, or if you want to search for something or something else, those kinds of detailed searches. So there's a lot of help on here, FAQs, getting started help. This is a great page. So let's go back up here to our app, go back to the hamburger and the help store. The help buttons. So those are the online articles, lots of support from Olivetree. Email support, if you have a question or a problem, you can click on this and it will send them an email, and you can add whatever the issue is, or if you want to just click other, you can do that if it's not listed here. And let's just say toolbar covering text. So there's some information about it. Click on email support. There's my email. That will go up for that. So then you can type in your information here. And I'm going to cancel out of there and delete draft. Or you can just go to the hamburger menu, help, email support, and just go straight to other issue. And it opens up the email automatically without having to read the articles. If you want to skip an article, if there's not an article there, that's apropos to your situation. So let's go back to the hamburger menu, help, and then we have About Us. It gives a little story about Olivetree and their history. And the last one is Diagnostics. And I would stay away from here. Olivetree recommends that you stay away from here. Don't go here unless you have a real technical problem with the app and they can't help you via email or phone calls. They will ask you to go in here and turn on some of these diagnostics so they can check what's going on with your app at a deeper level. Useful, but I wouldn't touch it unless they ask you to. So that's what the help section is all about. And we're done for today. That's the account details. All these items underneath the menu app. I'm sorry, there's one more thing. If you have your Bible app on multiple devices like I do, I have mine on my iPhone, my iPad, and my Mac desktop, my iMac desktop. They all sync. Anytime I do a highlight, anytime I do anything on here, make a note, it automatically syncs all my devices. So if I start reading my Bible or a book on my iPhone while I'm sitting in Meijer while my wife is shopping, and I get home and I open up my iPad, it automatically has synced where I read up to. Or if I've added highlights or notes or whatever I've done, it keeps all of your devices in sync. And you can choose to have it sync automatically. So I never use this button because I have mine sync automatically. But if you don't want to have them sync automatically, you can just click this button here and it will sync it for you. So now it's syncing everything I did today on my phone, which I had my quiet time today on my phone. Did a little work on my iPad and a little work on my desktop. So now all three of those are again synced. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. And chapter 8 and beyond is coming next with more details on how to use these tools and get started using the Bible app itself. Thank you.